Good morning. This is Thanksgiving week, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. So it's nicely done planned today as the Volunteers Appreciation Day. And therefore I also tried to find out something about appreciation. And the subject declared today is the art of appreciation. Appreciation is very important. It is in fact has the power, very powerful tool to change lives. It is a beautiful act of positivity which influences both the appreciated and the one who appreciates. Small words can just rouse someone's spirit. Inspiration, courage can be given through the art of appreciation. Appreciation in individual is a sadhana. When we appreciate someone for whatever they have done for us, or for those whom we like, we have to go deep into what they have done. We have to come to the level when we regard that person or act of that person is very friendly. That means we come at the level of that person. As our weakness, we are too much covered with egotism. We always feel that I am greater, I am big, I am this, I am that, and tend to look upon others as something they lack. In fact, we lack those very qualities in us more than that person in front of us. But this ego makes some other representation of ourselves than what we are. And this appreciation is possible, sincere, true appreciation is possible only when we can curb our ego. When we become humble, then only we can appreciate. That's why the art of appreciation is a sadhana, a spiritual practice, a practice to transform and make ourselves a better person. If we can really do this. Appreciation purifies our heart. When we see something good in others, then we are already pure. What makes us impure is thinking of impurity. Thinking of impurity in someone else, and impurity as weakness, you can see, greed, the arrogance, whatever you think about other person, incapability, whatever you think about other person makes yourself impure. And when you find someone other doing the nice thing, good thing for the organization, for you, for your dear ones, for someone you love, like for your country, then already you are seeing good in that person, and you appreciate that means you are becoming pure-hearted. Only pure-hearted person can really appreciate others. At least the time they appreciate, they are pure-hearted. That your heart has become pure. There can be appreciation without impurity, with impurity also, but that will just fade, won't touch anyone. It's not worth of being called an appreciation. The appreciation decreases our self-centeredness. We are prone to think only about ourselves. What I got, what I received, what I achieved, what I did. When we start thinking about others, what he did, what she did for someone I like, I love, maybe my country, my city, my family, to myself, whenever I think that, so I'm already thinking about others and something other good they are doing for others. So I forget myself, I think about others. My center of thought is now in another person, another being, another organization, another thing that is doing something good. Is it not the replacement or displacement of self-centeredness? That is what appreciation does. It's a great spiritual practice to replace our self-centeredness by selflessness. Selflessness makes ourselves very pure-hearted person. Appreciation also increases our humility. We are very arrogant by nature. The song, beautiful song in Hindi, I wish the meaning was told in English. Beautiful song. The first line said, "Let us win ourselves before trying to win others." Ourselves, our weaknesses, our defects, and there are so many we don't see inside us. Jesus also said, we see the mote in the other side, but we don't see the beam in our own eyes. There are so many defects in us, but we never look to ourselves. We always try to find what other person is, and keep all sorts of weaknesses and defects in other person's character. Those defects are in us, and that makes us arrogant. And when we start appreciating, seeing good thing others, we are already becoming humble. We have to become humble to make ourselves at the level of all of the humanity. The goal of spirituality, to feel oneness with every human being, with oneness with the whole universe. That is the goal of spirituality, and that is the truth. The truth is, there is one reality. Call it God, call it nature, call it Brahman. That one reality manifests as many. The reality is one. Whenever we go in that direction, that is spiritual practice. And humility, trying to treat ourselves as one among many, is a great spiritual practice. And this art of appreciation will gradually take us to make us humble. We'll be practicing humility. Let us see the examples of appreciation. First, you see, from Indian epic, Ramayana. Hanuman was assigned the task to search where the Sita has gone. So when they searched in India, they found that she was not to be found, and somehow they tracked that someone might have taken her across the sea to the Ceylon or Sri Lanka. And there, how to go there now? There was no boat, there was no breeze, so how will we cross? So all those who were with Hanuman, they said, "You are the only one capable of doing that." Hanuman said, "How can a simple monkey can cross this big span of water?" Then they started appreciating Hanuman. "Hanuman, did you forget in your very childhood that you had gone to sun to try to eat it, thinking it to be a fruit, red fruit? In the morning, and you went there and you tried to eat that? You have so tremendous power that you yourself don't know." All this appreciation Hanuman was done, and Hanuman really recovered and remembered all those powers, and with that power he just jumped, mythology says, and went to Sri Lanka. The Lanka is called. Another example of how appreciation can work. Narada was moving. Narada is a divine rishi, the divine sage, an angel. He's very close to God, and he moves around the world for the good of humanity. All the three worlds is the example. So he had come to this earth of ours, and he found one person meditating, very deep in thought of God and trying very hard. And when that person saw Narada and said, "Narada, where are you going?" He said, "I am going to Lord, to the heaven." "So we are going to Lord, please ask him. I have been practicing sadhana to realize God for a long time, whole this life. And yet I have not received him, I have not seen him, I didn't have vision of God, I have not gone him. So please ask, when will I see God?" Narada says, "Okay, of course I will ask God." Then he went further. He found one person was there, just jumping, very happy, living under a tamarind tree. Seeing Narada, that person also greeted Narada. Narada said, and asked Narada, "Where are you going?" He said, "I am going to the Lord, to God, to heaven." "So can you do a favor? Can you ask me when I will have realization of God, when I will have the vision of God?" Narada says, "Of course I will do." He was not doing any spiritual practice. He was just a happy man and a good person. So Narada goes, to heaven and then comes back again after few months. And then that person who was practicing sadhana, he saw Narada. Oh, Narada, have you been to heaven? Yes. Did you remember to ask my question to God? Yes, I did ask. So how long will I have to wait? So only 5 more births and you will be liberated. That means 5 more births. I have been trying so hard, so still I have not get liberation. What is this in the law of God, heavenly laws? I don't understand. I have been practicing so hard. I wanted to seek him. He was rejected. He felt very disappointed, that yogi. As if vision of God depends on our spiritual practice. Realization of God or liberation does not depend on our spiritual practice. Spiritual practice makes us fit to realize God. When we will realize God, when we will have liberation, when we will have that flash of knowledge called bodhi, it depends when God chooses or when our Atma chooses. Eme Vaisha Vrinute Tena Dabhya. When we are chosen, that time we will get liberation. It is to be chosen. We can only go to the door and wait and knock. It will be open, but when it will be open, it is not up to us. It has to open from inside. That will be the spiritual practice. So that meant rejection was totally unbecoming of a yogi, of a spiritual practitioner. Be in the thought of God, enjoy life with the association with God, try to see God, everything. It's so much of bliss in this life. Why should he be rejected, seeing that 5 times he have to be born? We had a great monk in our order. And he said, Swamiji, you are so great. I think it's your last life. He said, no, I want to be born again. Swamiji, you want to be reborn in this world where there is so much suffering? Yes, I want to be born and preach the message of Swami Vivekananda to the world. All his life he did that. He was so happy. A lot of troubles not have gone in life, whether he is a monk or householder. There is a suffering in this world. There is a conflict in this world. But he didn't mind any conflict, any suffering, any misunderstanding. He was so happy to preach this positive idea of Swami Vivekananda to the world, to the masses. He wants to come back again to the world to do the same duty. Swami Vivekananda also says, I'll be born again until, I'll go on working until the whole world understands that it is one with God. So that is their spirit of taking rebirth. One beautiful verse says, Nattvaham kamaye rajyam na swargam na apunar bhavam. I don't want kingdom. Nattvaham kamaye rajyam. I don't want heaven even. Even I don't want liberation. Apunar bhava is liberation. Punar bhava is coming back again. Apunar bhava is not coming back. Then what do I want? Kamaye dukhataptanam praninam artinasanam. I want everybody to be happy. All their afflictions to be removed. I want every person to be joyful. That is my desire of the heart. I don't want to think about anything about heaven or lot of enjoyment in this world or even liberation. I want people to be happy. I want masses to be happy and joyful and peaceful. That is the desire of that saint. Mahatma Gandhi used to like this prayer very much. So Narada comes after that to that person who was under the tamarind tree. And he says, oh Narada, hello, I greet you. And could you remember what I had requested when you saw the Lord? He said, yes, I remember. And what did Lord say? When will I have liberation? He said, oh, I asked Lord. Lord said that you will have to wait many lives. How many lives? He said, as there are leaflets on this tamarind tree, after having that much rebirth, then you will have liberation. And what was the reaction of this man? He started jumping with joy. Oh, finally one day I will have liberation. I will have gone beyond this wheel of samsara. I will have enlightenment. I will experience that bliss of the realization of God. That man started jumping with joy. And to appreciate his positive attitude, God sent his messenger just then and said, you are now free to get liberation. All those karma are all vanished. by the power of your appreciation of positive ideas. That man appreciated that he will have liberation. That's how the appreciation works. Rama was building the bridge to go to Lanka. Hanuman can jump, so other person could not jump. No one else was there who could just jump over the sea. Only Hanuman was there with his great quality. Then there was bridge was to be made. So everyone was putting big mortars, big boulders on the bridge. There was a small chipmunk who also wanted to be a part in this great work of Rama's bridge. So how could he help? He said, I'll bring some sand grains. How will he carry? He said, I will roll on the sand, come to the bridge where they are putting big boulders, and then shake my hair. And some grains will fall. So that way he was trying to help. How will that help? It was a big, huge bridge connecting India with Lanka, and this chipmunk will bring few grains of sand each time. But when Sri Ramachandra saw this, he couldn't but appreciate the feeling of that person. Bhava grahi janardana. God doesn't see how much you produce. God says how you work. What is your intention? What is your feeling when you work for others? For God. When we work for others, it is the service to God. It is a worship to God. When we do volunteerism, really for the joy of others, it is an act of God. As equal, as good as offering flowers. There is no distinction, there is no difference. Cleaning the washrooms, as Shankar Sanyal was saying about the clean washrooms, we have volunteers who come for soup kitchen, and when they don't have much work, they will come and clean washrooms themselves. And that cleaning washroom is not less than offering prayers in the shrine. Same act, because it is done for the joy of the devotees. When we offer prayer, that is also done for the peace and happiness of the devotees, of the people who come. So, Sri Ramachandra was very happy with this small chipmunk, and he put it on his hand and caressed him with the fingers. They say, now you see 3 stripes on the back of the chipmunk. That is that Rama gave, and that was the first one whose generations now have the same white lines on the body of the chipmunk. Rama was very happy with Hanuman. So I am giving a lot of examples from Ramayana. Rama was very happy with Hanuman, how much he did. Hanuman was the greatest devotee of Dasya power, thinking oneself as the servant, and Rama was the master or Lord. So when they came back to Ayodhya, then Rama said to Hanuman, you have done so much for me. Without you, it was not possible to achieve my mission. And he called him and said, I want to... And he said, you are dear to me like my brother Bharata. Bharata was his own brother, having all the divine qualities. Unselfish, ungreedy, nothing was there that was not in him. Bharata was very much beloved of Rama, as was Lakshmana also. But he says, you are dear to me like Bharata. You see, this love is something which doesn't need time. Lakshmana always accompanied Rama. Always he was there. He never slept, they say, till Rama was in exile for 12 years. So, Lakshmana didn't sleep. He was so devoted. But when Rama calls Hanuman and says, Hanuman, you have been such a great help for me and your devotion. You are dear to me like my dear brother Bharata. He gives the example of Bharata. Bharata lived far away, but he had such a great, tremendous qualities. Non-greediness. He didn't want to become a king, renounced everything for his brother. No one's sacrifice was lesser, neither Bharata's nor Lakshmana's. And Rama says, come, I want to embrace you, give you a hug. That was a great thing. A master, Lord, asking his servant, his devotee to come and hug. That was the appreciation that Ramachandra saw. Sri Rama is supposed to be Maryada Purushottam, an ideal human being. There are lots of examples in Ramayana where we show that what we should do at the time of when we are in confusion. Rama's example can help. Holy Mother used to use, when she was old, very old comforter. People said, "Mother, why are you using this old, this torn and precious? I will buy new for you. It's very old, you have been using it for years." And that was really torn, the cotton stuff there was coming out, but she would not let it go. When she was asked, she said, No, it's very dear to me. You know, Cookie has given this to me. Cookie is Sister Nivedita, Elizabeth Noble, Margaret Elizabeth Noble. So she has given that to her. So in appreciation of her gift, her love, her adoration, she would not let that go. She will use that old, torn comforter while using that. So there are so many wonderful examples we find in the lives of great persons, how they appreciate the love and reciprocate it. Now this appreciation started to praise God. Thanksgiving perhaps originally started to thank God for the things that He provides us, the crops, the fruits, the light, the air, the very life that we have. It's all given by God. So we choose one day to thank God for that. And also thank the person who helped us in making our life easier and happier. So we thank other persons also, whoever has done something for us. Praising the Lord, thanking the Lord, appreciating the acts of Lord is not easy. It's very difficult. Because if we really want to appreciate the gifts of Lord, we have to appreciate good things that He has given us. And also we should be able to appreciate whatever bad that has come to us. Because good and bad both come from God. There is only one person, only one being who grants us the things. Are we dareful? Are we strong enough, courageous enough to praise the Lord when we get something that we don't want? We get something that we consider bad? That is the real appreciation of God. So it is difficult to praise the Lord for what we get. If we could do that, Kabir Das ji says, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. When you are in trouble, you always think of God. But when you are happy, you forget God. Or in other words, we can say, when you are happy, you appreciate God has given. But when you are in bad times, you don't appreciate that. Dukh mein sumiran jab kare, sukh mein sumiran jo kare, dukh kahe ko hoye. Kabir Das ji said, if you remember God when even you are happy, why you will have pain? And corollary to this, if you remember and appreciate God for whatever bad He has given to you, if you have that much wisdom to appreciate the act of God which you do not like, there will be no bad, evil time for you. Because you have understood to treat good and bad equally. Samah shatrau cha mitre cha tatha mana pamanayo. Sri Krishna says, the wise person will treat bad and good as equal. Insult and honor as equal. You have learned to do that. You have that capacity, learn for doing that, then there will be no bad for you. You have become same-sighted. You can treat all equally. So there will be no bad thing. Therefore, treating good and bad and appreciating God is very difficult, but it's needed. Holy Mother said, someone said, oh, I suffer so much, where is the grace of God? Holy Mother said, the suffering that you have got is itself a grace of God. Can we think that way? Holy Mother could understand and He spoke the absolute truth, and that is the truth. Whatever happens to us is the grace of God, has some meaning in our life, and if we take it positively, it will do only good. One that Steve Jobs had said in his commencement in Stanford University, that whatever happened to me in my life, he went through a lot of difficulties. The company he formed, the Apple, fired him, the founder. And he said, that time I didn't understand, now I understand. He came back again, and he said, what was done to me? I was fired, and that was good for the company. He didn't say the God, but he said it was good. Everything that happened in my life, the poverty, the difficulties, the injustice, whatever happened in my life has contributed to the growth of the organization, has contributed to my creative instinct and creativity. Everything that happened bad was in fact good. that person could say. That we need to say. When the difficulties come, we need to say, there must be some good meaning in this. Lord, be praised. If you could do that, that would be the real appreciation to God. That's what Holy Mother said, suffering is the grace of God. Sri Krishna said, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yad juhoshi dadasiya yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushya madarpanam. You offer everything to me. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give to others, whatever austerity you practice, offer everything to me, because everything is being done by my power, by my grace to you. The good, all that you find is because of me. So offer the action of all your fruits of all action to me. Know that I am responsible for whatever that happens in your life. And if we have someone who is dear to us, if we are able to love God, and if He gives a little pain, doesn't matter. If your grandchild comes, you take in the lap, and he scratches your skin, do you feel bad for that? Because you love your grandchild. If we love God, He gives a little pricking somewhere, because that also comes out of our karma or something. But if God grants that, you as a bhakta you think, then why you will be sad? You say, Lord, glory be unto Thee. I got this much pain. I got this much hurt. That man was angry with me. That person insulted me. Let you be praised. All is your play. It's a fantastic game is going on. One person was in Himalayas and he was a great monk, and there were few children in the village, and they started throwing stone on that person. And that person, like a madman, was laughing loudly. Blood coming out from that person, from the skin, bruised through the hitting of the stone. And he was laughing. Swami Vivekananda had gone to Himalaya at that time. And he saw that person. He's a great, wise person. And the person was saying, what a wonderful play of God. Everything he said was God doing to him. He didn't have any remorse, any hatred, any complaint against anything. Swami Vivekananda then burned some clothes. He didn't have any antiseptic. There was no doctor in the remote village in Himalaya. He said, I burned some cloth, and with his ashes I put on his wounds. But that man was saved to Swami Vivekananda. That was also play of God. Someone is hurting, someone is curing. So that is all play of God. Lord be praised. Appreciation to Lord. We learn everything from around us. And this, when we want to thank someone from which we have learned, we need to thank everyone. From everything we interact, encounter, there is something we learn if we have open mind. They say in books in brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. If we could have that eye to see, we'll be appreciating, we'll be thankful to everything in the world. See the heart full of the attitude of thankfulness. Can he be ever remorse for anything that happens? Always he wants to thank. This appreciation, there is a small joke. One person was going in a taxi to railway station, and the driver was taking him, and at the railway station approached to thank the driver. He was sitting on the back seat and driver on the front seat, steering wheel. So he mildly tapped the driver to say, thanks for driving me here, appreciating the work the driver did. Driver became panicky, and he lost the control of the car, and his car went to the sidewalk. He was going to hit an old lady who was walking there. Finally, somehow driver was able to stop the car just before hitting the lamp post. The light post was not hit. That passenger said, I'm sorry, but just I wanted to appreciate you. He said, don't ever do this. The driver said, don't ever do this. Then driver, after a pause, some few seconds, driver said, perhaps it was my mistake. You know what? This is the first day I am driving a taxi. For the last 15 years, I have been driving funeral van. Sri Ramakrishna said, Javat Bachi Tavat Shiki. As long as I live, so long do I learn. There's no end to learning. There's no end to being appreciative towards others. There's no end to become open-minded and getting the thing, knowing the things from others. He always visited scholars and reputed persons, whoever came to his city. The Dayananda Saraswati, Devendranath Tagore, all these, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was there, all famous persons. And he used to ask questions about spirituality. He used to talk about God with them. Always, he was never shy of visiting them, wanted to learn from what they understand about God. So that was the open-mindedness, that was the appreciation that he had for this thing. Sri Ramakrishna had so much of feeling of getting knowledge from others. One day when dog was approaching, he said, oh, maybe this dog, God wants to say something to me through this dog. Even a humble street dog in India, I don't know how they are treated. But Sri Ramakrishna was so much appreciative. He appreciated everyone. No one was bad in his eyes. He saw God in every person. Those fallen persons, those characterless beings, all those were like divine manifestations for Sri Ramakrishna. If you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you will find that. If you read his life, his humility was such, it's really something very charming. And one is sure to be touched by it when one reads and reflects on his life. Therefore they say, keep mind positive, receptive and open. There are innumerable opportunities that you will find to appreciate to everyone that you come in contact. Whenever we say thank you, we are expressing our appreciation. This has to be sincere and we need to mean it. We often say, some people often say, thank you, thanks a lot. But sometimes they mean just opposite of that. That is not appreciation. Christian mystic Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. Why can't we go along with others? Why do we have problem dealing with others? Why can't we appreciate the good quality in others? If the problem is not in that person, problem is in us. Our negative estimation about others. Only seeing the negative side of others. How would you appreciate it? So we need to get rid of this negative estimation of other persons. Give up this negative estimation about others and try to focus on the positive things. Everyone is made up of good and bad qualities. In fact, this is our eyes what see good and bad. They say, as we become pure and evolve spiritually, we start seeing the world as good. The negative, bad, evil starts going away as we transform ourselves. So when we see bad or negative, it is our own defect, not the defect of that person. So let us try to do that. Every individual is unique. Everyone has some idiosyncrasy. But this idiosyncrasy or the peculiar quality of a person can be treated as the uniqueness. And that uniqueness can be treated as the beauty of that person. Some person stammers, some person talks a lot. Why don't you say it is like a beauty? Someone says, oh, if that person starts calling, then you are very easy. You just keep your ears open and mouth shut. 1 hour it will be spent very nicely. You have to listen to that person for 1 hour on telephone. But why do you become critic of that person? That is the idiosyncrasy of that person and that is the beauty of that person. Take it as the beauty. Like you see, rose have thorns. So some people are there who will see the thorn. Why rose got the thorn? They become unhappy. So you see the negative side. What is the positive side? One Swami said, some people complain because God puts thorns on roses. Others praise Him for putting roses among thorns. So like that, these different flowers are all unique and beautiful. A rose is different from the hibiscus. But both are beautiful, both are unique. So uniqueness of the person can be treated as the beauty of that person instead of saying that is the negative or something dislikable. And these so many flowers make the garden beautiful. One Swami used to say, flowers are the smile of the Divine Mother. When you look at the flowers and connect it with some divinity, your attitude of seeing flowers are changed. You think that flowers are something made by God, connected with God, and as if the God is smiling there. Appreciate, therefore, everyone, but you have to be appreciative for yourself as well. Vedanta says, what we see outside is but a reflection of what is within us. So when we can see good in ourselves, it is very difficult to see good outside. So when we see something wrong outside another person, we show that you have that thing a lot within you. So that's why try to find the goodness in yourself. Think about the goodness in others, about yourself, and that will lead to fill your mind and heart with all goodness. Now, how to appreciate? Appreciate for the simple things that you get in life. For example, sunlight. If you see the mantras, all they are appreciating. The morning it grows, Swami Vivekananda says that in the morning we praise sun for giving us light and life. It starts with that practice. We need to appreciate everything that we get. Jaba kusuma sankasham kashyapeyang mahadyuting dvantaring sarvapapurnam pranatosmi divakaram. O sun, I bow down to you. You remove all our sins. You give us light. You remove our darkness. We appreciate you. What about the air? We appreciate air. In the Vedas it is said, Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami. O air, I adore you. You are verily Brahman. You are the veritable experiential Brahman. Brahman cannot be experienced by us through this mind and body, but I can experience you who give us life and protect us from death. You are Brahman. You see, appreciating air. We can appreciate everything. We can appreciate our organs also. Apyayantu mamangani vak pranas chakshu shrotra matho balamindriyani. May my organs be vigorous. Organs are given to us to know, to understand, to grow. This body itself is such a great gift of God. Everything that this body has can be appreciated as a gift of God. And these organs that are working, serving us, bringing us good thoughts, making us evolve spiritually, need to be appreciated through these prayers, like it comes from the Upanishad. They say, stand before a mirror, look at your face and say aloud, I am grateful to you, and appreciate your being in my life. To your body, to your mind, appreciate that. I am so happy I have got you. Don't think about the negative things. Oh, I cannot walk, oh, I have pain in my neck. Don't think those things. How many positive things you have got through this body and this mind? Just appreciate that. Swami Vivekananda asked his father, Father, what have you given me? Father said, go and look at the mirror. You will find what I have given you. His body, his mind, the great, what he has got, was the gift of God through his parents. So we can appreciate our being. You can be positive about everything, about ourselves and about everyone else. That's what appreciation does. But while appreciating or expressing the gratitude of our gratitude to others, the first thing is our hearts should be filled with the feeling of gratefulness. Then only we'll be able to really express that. When we need to appreciate someone else and express our gratitude to some other person, it should be very warm. And they say, approach those you are grateful to in your life. Approach them with face smiling, eyes shining, and heart full of gratitude. Look deep into their eyes. Be specific. Oh, you did such a great, doesn't help. What specific he has done, that makes him feel better. And it is a service to that person and worship of God. To make others feel happy, even for a moment, it's a great service. Don't be shy. When you get an opportunity to say some good words, say thank you for this. Don't feel shy. Oh, what to go and say. Be generous in appreciating. Don't be miserly, at least in giving words and expressing it from your heart. That's what the art of appreciation says. Whenever opportunity comes, you should not miss that opportunity to express your gratitude for what you have received. And when we have that habit of filling our hearts with goodwill for others, with gratitude for others, with humility upon ourselves, then every moment of our life will be a life of appreciation. And that type of mind and heart will start seeing unity in all of us, and we'll try to start feeling oneness with every human being. I am not superior than others. I am one with others. Different qualities will be always there, if that's the beauty of this creation. But I am one with all. And I get so many things from others. That's why I need to say thank you.